Quick turnaround after a tough win in Week 16. Time to get a win on primetime. What's up, Broncos country? My name is Brandon Gilchrist. Well, here we are. 4 days later, our Broncos play on Christmas night against the Kansas City Chiefs. After a tough loss in Week 16, they're looking to bounce back. The Broncos will be facing a decimated Chiefs team that has had an extremely rough 2025 season. The Broncos need this win and a win in Week 18 to secure the division and the number 1 seed. Now, before we get into the matchup, let's talk about the word on the beat this week. Well, last week we saw photos of the Broncos practicing in their white helmets, and it wasn't clear whether it was going to be on Sunday or this Thursday's game. And now, after wearing all orange on Sunday, we now got confirmation the Broncos will be wearing their white helmets on Christmas night in a completely white out uniform. And I gotta say, it does look pretty sweet, and I think that's going to look great on TV on primetime. In other news, and I'm so excited about this, for the first time in a long time, the Broncos had 6 players selected as starters for the Pro Bowl. Wide receiver Courtland Sutton, and this will be his second time. He becomes one of 5 players in franchise history to earn multiple Pro Bowl selections as a wide receiver. The only others, Demaryius Thomas, Rod Smith, Emmanuel Sanders, and Brandon Marshall. Left tackle Garrett Bowles finally gets his due and is selected to the Pro Bowl for the first time this year. So excited for Garrett. He's had all pro seasons already. 2025 is no exception. Glad to see him finally getting some public recognition for it. Quinn Miners. This is also his first selection to the Pro Bowl, who has been a force since he became a starter on the offensive line for the Broncos. So glad to see him getting recognition for it. Pat Surtain continues to stack him up. He becomes only the 3rd Broncos cornerback in franchise history to earn 4 consecutive Pro Bowl selections. The other 2, Champ Bailey, one of my favorite all-time players, and Aqib Talib. He's also one of only 3 Broncos players to earn 4 Pro Bowls in their first 5 years. He joins Von Miller, Hall of Famer safety Steve Atwater. That's it. An amazing accomplishment for Pat Surtain and well-deserved. Defensive lineman Zach Allen gets his first Pro Bowl nod as well. Zach has been a force on the defensive line, and it's awesome to see him finally getting some public recognition. His performance is up there with his mentor, J.J. Watt, when it comes to QB hits. Congrats on the Pro Bowl selection. Now, there are alternates also identified for the Pro Bowl, all also deserving of the recognition for their performance in 2025. It's awesome to see Broncos on the side of being viewed as a good team with good players, and everyone that's been selected has been putting together great performances for multiple years now. It just took the Broncos winning a bit more for them to finally get the recognition that they deserve. All right, let's talk about this matchup. This is the second time the Broncos are facing the Chiefs after knocking them off at home just over a month ago. I'm not going to dive deep into the coaching staffs this time around because we already did that in the first preview. We'll talk about a few things that are different, and boy oh boy are they significant for this matchup. For Andy Reid and the Chiefs, they currently sit at 6-9. This is the first time in 9 years that the Chiefs won't make the postseason. Along with the string of unfortunate injuries, the difference this year has really been the Chiefs not making the plays that they normally make on a consistent basis. Their ability to close out games was practically non-existent in their 2025 campaign. This team is definitely facing major changes in the offseason, and for these last 2 weeks of the season, their mindset is really just getting out as healthy as they can. There'll be a lot of questions for this team. Their biggest being what they're going to do at quarterback, with Patrick Mahomes out so late with an ACL injury. For the Broncos, they currently sit at 12-3, coming off a tough loss in Week 16 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They remain the 1 seed and need to win both Week 17 and Week 18 to secure the division and the number 1 seed. This second matchup with the Chiefs is going to look very different than the first. Let's start with looking at the Broncos defense versus the Chiefs offense. Well, it was a tough day at the office for Broncos defense, putting up one of their worst performances of the season in Week 16. The backbreaking part of their performance were a ton of missed tackles and allowing the Jaguars to convert 4 of 5 of their trips in the red zone, when our defense is the number 1 red zone defense in the league. In addition to that, allowing the Jaguars to convert 8 of their 15 third downs, when our defense at the time was the number 1 third down defense in the league, was just uncharacteristic for their performance. The Broncos came away with several injuries from that game that you'll want to keep your eye on at the end of this video for updated health reports. But we know there's a high possibility they're going to be without Dre Greenlaw in their front seven. Late in the game, he pulled up with what looked like a hamstring injury, and it could be several weeks before we see him again. At this point, in the middle of our defense, we're going to be hoping that Justin Strnad can come back and fill in his stead, as he and Alex Singleton, that combination in the middle, did very well while Dre Greenlaw was out. When we look at the Chiefs offense, it's hard to even compare where they are ranked right now, because one of the biggest differences between facing them last time and this time is going to be at the QB position. Not only did Patrick Mahomes go down with an ACL injury, but their backup quarterback, Gardner Minshew, is also out. The Broncos will be facing Chris Oladukin behind center on Thursday. Chris is a 7th round pick out of South Dakota State, selected in 2022 by the Steelers. He was released in August of that 2022 season and signed with the Chiefs, and has been on and off their practice squad since then. Last week, when he finished the game for Gardner Minshew, he went 11 for 16 for 111 yards. He's 6'1", 213 pounds, considered a dual threat quarterback, and I would imagine we're going to see a lot of running from him in this game. The Broncos actually saw Chris take a few snaps against them in the 2024 season, but this will be his first official NFL start. And for full prep for our defense, it'll be interesting to see what that matchup will look like. Now, this offense has a slew of injuries on their offensive line as well as their wide receiver corps. When it comes to their offensive line, not only are their starting tackles out, their backup tackles are out on both sides. In the wide receiver room, both Rashee Rice and Tyquan Thornton are battling concussions. No matter who's behind center, Travis Kelce has been the safety blanket, and he's somebody the defense is obviously going to need to account for, especially with the other weapons on this offense being out. So what's the plan for all 11 on defense versus this Chiefs offense? Number one, take the crowd out early. This is a division matchup, so you've got to expect them to bring it and pull out all the stops. Especially with them not being in the playoffs this year, they're going to be looking to play spoiler for the Broncos, at least in the first quarter. The Broncos need to eliminate their reason to fight. Shut down this offense. Don't let them find any momentum. Be prepared for trick plays. With both starting and backup tackles out of this one, shutting down the run shouldn't be a problem. And if they can't run, that means they've got to put it in their QB's hands. And that brings up priority number 2. Force Oladukin to beat you. The running game for this team hasn't been good all year, and Oladukin is going to add a different element of running for this team, but the defense need to be prepared for that. Attack him. Get in the backfield before he can even make a decision on whether he wants to throw or run. As I said before, be ready for the trick plays. At this point, Andy Reid's going to pull out all the stops to try to give his team any shred of momentum to keep fighting in this game. Don't let it happen. Let's talk about this Broncos offense versus this Chiefs defense. The Broncos had a solid performance from their offense last week. Their biggest opportunity came with converting third downs and converting in the red zone. They were consistently moving the ball between the 20s but couldn't capitalize on it. Couple that with untimely turnovers and you can tell why this game got away from them. When we look at this Chiefs defense, this is the strength of the team and has been all year. Their defensive line has been okay at creating pressure, but they haven't really been able to get home creating sacks. Now, there are a couple injuries on the Chiefs defense as well. It's unclear at this point if they're going to play or not. Keep an eye at the health report at the end of this video to find out game statuses. But when we look at the cornerback position and Trent McDuffie, who has been out with a knee injury, he's their best corner. Outside linebacker Leo Chenal has been put on IR with a shoulder injury. So there are some holes in this defense as well. So what's the plan for all 11 on offense versus this Chiefs defense? Number one, get up early. As I said before, don't give this Chiefs team a reason to keep fighting in this game. Drive the field, get touchdowns, get up early, and have them focusing on just getting out of the game without any more injuries. Priority number 2, run the clock out. The Broncos can apply a similar plan to what they did against the Raiders. They should be able to move the ball on this team. They're vulnerable in the passing game, and they're vulnerable up the middle when it comes to the running game. If you apply the old adage of taking what the defense gives you, you should be able to move the ball and you should be able to score. You should also be able to dominate in time of possession. With the lack of running that happened in Week 16, this should be an opportunity to re-establish the run. Get RJ Harvey and Jaleel McLaughlin involved early and don't stop. When it comes to special teams, the Chiefs have a great kicker in Harrison Butler. Marvin Mims was able to get a big return on them the last time we played. That's still going to be a possibility in this one as well. And why not on primetime? Look, this is short and sweet, and I don't want to mince words here. The Broncos should absolutely get a win here. This is a great opportunity for them to correct what needs to be fixed, get the win, and move on. Let's end Christmas Day right. Are you excited about a Christmas game for the Broncos? What's your favorite holiday tradition? For me, it's actually making black-eyed peas on New Year's Eve. It's a Southern tradition that's all about setting yourself up for prosperity in the new year. Merry Christmas, Broncos country. Looking forward to our Broncos getting a solid win on Christmas Day. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling. As always, be kind. Talk to you soon, Broncos country.